Hello guys, my name is Kenton Park, and this is a series where we go through the book of Proverbs. In the first video we were in chapter 1 verses 1 through 7 where we talked about the benefits of wisdom, and in the second video we were in chapter 1 verses 8 through 19 where we talked about our circle of friends. Today we're wrapping up chapter 1 verses 20 through 33 where we talk about how wisdom communicates with us. Proverbs chapter 1 verses 20 through 33 says, "Wisdom shouts in the street, she lifts her voice in the square. At the head of the noisy street she cries out. At the entrance of the gates in the city she utters her sayings. How long, O naive ones? How long will you love simplicity? And scoffers delight themselves in scoffing, and fools hate knowledge. Turn to my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit on you. I will make my words known to you. Because I called you, and you refused me. I stretched out my hand, and no one paid attention. And you neglected my counsel, and did not want my reproof. I will even laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your dread comes. When your dread comes like a storm, and your calamity comes like a whirlwind, and distress and anguish come on you. Then they will call on me, but I will not answer them. They will seek me diligently, but they shall not find me, because they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. They would not accept my counsel. They spurned all my reproof. So they shall eat the fruit of their own ways, and be satisfied with their own devices. For the waywardness of the naive shall kill them, and the complacency of fools shall destroy them. But he who listens to me shall live securely, and shall be at ease from the dread of evil." Now I want to start out explaining the setting here. It depicts wisdom as a female character, and that's kind of a more of Hebrew poetry. When it talks about her, she, it's not talking about an actual woman saying these things, it's talking about wisdom being embodied as if a woman. Notice how it describes the setting though. Wisdom shouts in the street, she lifts her voice in the square. At the head of the noisy street she cries out. At the entrance of the gate, the city, she utters her sayings. The location is significant in the days that this was written in. Back then they didn't have cars to get you from point A to point B, you just walked on the road from your house to the store to your job, wherever else you're going. Because of modern transportation with cars, it is kind of a very isolated experience. When you go about your day, you're not walking with other people, you're driving in your own car to your destination. But in this setting, when people are walking to their locations, they're going to come in contact with other people also walking down the street to their destinations, so it's going to naturally be a more communal experience. In the same sense, when you've got a busy intersection like a stoplight, you don't have a whole bunch of cars with their windows closed or somebody with loud music blaring, it's going to be much quieter. And so people like prophets, poets, or musicians could stand on the corner of those intersections and be heard. In this context, wisdom's saying these things to anyone who happens to come by, which would be practically everybody in the city. Now straight at the beginning of wisdom's speech, she gives 3 warnings that really stood out to me, and they're found in verses 22. "How long, O naive ones, will you love simplicity, and scoffers delight themselves in scoffing, and fools hate knowledge?" The first thing wisdom warns about is the love of simplicity. How often is it we get on board with trying to find the simple, quick answer to a problem rather than think through the complex nuances of the matter? People love simplicity because it gives us a quick and easy answer, but often the truth that we need is much more complex and nuanced than that. By always trying to find the simple solution, we might end up making some mistakes because we ignored the warnings. The second warning wisdom gives is the delight in scoffing. To scoff at somebody is to make fun of something about their character or attributes in a demeaning way. A way to have fun, make humor, mock, and derail somebody because of something that you feel they are inferior to you on. Scoffing is so dangerous because it can destroy somebody's reputation. The third thing wisdom warns us about is the hatred of knowledge. This kind of goes along the lines of the love of simplicity. If you always want everything to be simple, then you're not going to go into the complex nuances of a matter. Therefore, you might not end up as knowledgeable about a topic that would benefit you to know. This can come in the form of being slack in your homework or schooling, or just simply rejecting the teachings of other people. The vast majority of people would say that knowledge is power, so if you're rejecting opportunities to learn, then you're rejecting power for your future. So those are the 3 warnings of wisdom, but then wisdom quickly turns around and offers us an opportunity to learn from her. Verse 23 says, "Turn to my reproof, behold I will pour out my spirit on you, I will make my words known to you." This is a promise to give you A, a wise spirit, and B, a spirit of understanding, both of which will help you in dealing with people and solving complex issues in your life. The third point then takes this idea and turns it around and says if you reject this wisdom, then rather than wisdom coming in and fighting for you, it will actually fight against you. Verses 25 and 26 says, "And you neglected all my counsel and did not want my reproof. I will even laugh at your calamity, and I will mock when your dread comes." Then jump down to verse 28, and it says, "Then they will call on me, but I will not answer them. They will seek me diligently, but they shall not find me." So here, wisdom is actually rejecting counseling a person that formerly rejected wisdom. And instead of helping them in their time of need, wisdom is laughing at them, wisdom is mocking at them, and wisdom is even shunning them entirely. In fact, wisdom is even saying that they will seek it, but they will not find it because it's hiding from them. Now, on a side note, some might look at this and be like, well, I thought God was merciful and quick to forgive us. And yes, He is. However, this is all about the manner of which we approach God. You see, God is merciful and quick to forgive us when we come to Him with a humble heart, when we come to Him admitting our faults, admitting our errors, and asking for direction because we don't know where to go from here and we've made such a mess of our lives. Because of our shame, coming to Him humbly, He then extends grace to us and teaches us a better way. But if we come to Him just because we expect Him to take away the punishment of our mistakes, or as though we're trying to justify why we did what we did and we don't have a repentant heart, if we come to Him arrogantly thinking that we've done nothing wrong, then He is not going to forgive us. Then He is not going to teach us a better way. Wisdom does not serve as a backup plan. Pursue wisdom before you make a mistake so that you will have better insight in how to avoid the mistake. And if you fail, then come to wisdom humbly. Don't come to wisdom or God thinking why your supposed perfect self is suffering when what you really need is to repent. And that leads us to the fourth point. What is the reason that wisdom and God turn away from somebody in their hour of need at times? In verses 30 through 31, it says, "They would not accept my counsel. They spurned all my reproof. So they shall eat the fruit of their own ways and be satisfied with their own devices." This kind of person was laughing at the counsel wisdom was giving rather than embracing and learning from it. Because the person thought that they knew better, wisdom turned them over to their pride. That's why it says they will eat the fruit of their own labor and be satisfied with their own devices. Because they didn't think that they needed the counsel of wisdom and that they could do fine on their own. So therefore, God turns them over to prove to them how their way does not work. And in the end, it concludes that the righteous are safe because they lived by the counsel of wisdom. The final verse says, "But he who listens to me shall live securely and shall be at ease from the dread of evil." Anyway, guys, that's all for Proverbs chapter 1. I think this is a fantastic chapter. It just opens up the book of Proverbs with guns blazing, shooting shots all over the place, and making some very stout, strong points. It's a great way to start a book, and I hope you guys will continue along with me as I continue to read these later chapters. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. God bless. You know, a really good example of this would be my sister. She is just one of those personalities. She's got a lot of wisdom, a lot of insight, but she is also very bold and straight to the point. So sometimes some of her friends will come to her for advice and be like, "Hannah, what do I do? It's like, this problem going on." And she would just be like, "Well, first off, you need to distance yourself from that friend. You need to break up with that boyfriend, blah, 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 blah." And then the friend is just like, "Yeah, I know, but I don't want to. It's like, I don't want to cause a scene or blah, 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 blah." And then later on, things just end up getting worse, and the matter just goes crazy. And then the friend comes to my sister again and is like, "I just don't know why this is happening." And then my sister's like, "I told you so.